This is Jolie here for Seconds Out, joined by Mams Taylor, KSI's manager. This is finally fight week. For you as a manager, must have been a crazy month or so, but how are you?
I'm also, basically, I'm the president of this organization, co-president with Keller. So in the capacity of KSI's manager, it's a very different feeling. And in the capacity of a promoter with a promotion for our first event, it's also different things that you encounter. So there's a mixed bag of excitement and nerves, and but overall we're thrilled to be doing this, and hopefully we can put on a great show for everyone.
What's the last month been like, with obviously the pull out of Alex Wasabi, Swarms coming in, fighting two opponents, then having to cancel the first fight with the second fighter, first pro fight, professional boxer, and then having another one? Must have been a roller coaster.
It's been a walk in the park, no problems. No, listen, I'm expecting the kitchen sink to arrive any minute now, because everything's been thrown at us. And we're determined to put on a show. We're determined not to let fans down. And that's what's important to us. You know, we're doing this for legacy. We're doing this because there's a void in this space, and we want to create a safe and professional environment for these boys and girls to be able to do this. We're not here to encroach on purist boxing. We're not here to compete. I've grown up as a boxing fan, as someone who's done boxing and MMA myself from my teen years. I respect both sport. I respect any combat sport. I respect anyone who puts themselves in a situation where they're in a ring or a cage or whatever. So I want to make it clear that that's not our intention. We're not here to spoil the broth for what they've got. If anything, we just want to contribute to actually getting more people interested in the sport on any level. You know, so I think it's a really positive thing overall, and I think a lot of people don't get that yet.
With the situation with Alex Wasabi, obviously Jake Paul loved how that played out. What was his involvement in the Alex Wasabi pullout, from what you know, because it all seems fishy?
I mean, look, he capitalized on a situation. We thought we were prepared for it and had a replacement fighter. I contacted Swarms as soon as we knew that Jake Paul was involved in the Alex Wasabi fight and MVP were involved. We said, okay, well, anything could happen. But we also tried to contact several other replacements, but it was not easy because most people don't want to do a full camp and likely not fight. Swarms, all respect to him, he stepped up and he said, I'm ready to do this. So I give him all the respect in the world for that. And then obviously I can't speculate. I've got my thoughts on it, but you know, at this point, I don't know. I've been concussed 3-4 times, and I was training a few days later. Maybe I was stupid, but they were light concussions. But I've known people who've had concussions that were basically had to take the rest of their season off ice hockey. You know, friends of mine, and he seemed to be up and about a few days later. JJ broke his hand, broke his nose. Doctor said, fight's off. No, it's fucking not. So I think fighter mentality, and fighters out there will understand, if you're a real fighter, you've got fighter mentality. But having said that, I don't know. You know, I don't know the extent of the concussion or the injury. Either way, he pulled out. Fans was thinking, what's going to happen now? Jake Paul issued a challenge. He took advantage of that opportunity. And then fans went from thinking, KSI is fighting Alex Wasabi. No, now he's fighting Jake Paul. Oh, he's fighting Swarms. So it was a bomb to drop on everyone, and it wasn't very smooth. So we had to come up with a plan C. And hopefully we're going to execute that and make history.
How important is that Jake Paul fight with what we've just spoke about? It's now more vicious going into it. There's now more between it. It almost hyped the fight in an unusual way.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think the rivalry couldn't be more real. They despise one another. They don't like each other at all. and it's going to be a pinnacle moment that anyone who are fans of the YouTube space, grown up with these kids, they all want to see it, and I anticipate it will be one of the top pay-per-views of all time. I almost can guarantee that. It's going to be mad, and it's inevitable that it happens. It's an important piece of history in the making when it happens. So, you know, we're excited, and that is a goal. That is a big goal for JJ, you know, but overall, the bigger picture goal is we wanted to create a space for these kids to fight each other safely under professional circumstances. We saw a void and sort of create this professional crossover boxing space.
As someone who's come from the younger generation, seeing these guys progress over the last 10 years, I truly believe it could definitely do over 1 million pay-per-view buys, in which would be, as you say,
Logan KSI, Eddie Hunt just said, released these figures. It was the 5th biggest pay-per-view of all time at 2 million. So if you think that Jake and KSI is not going to do over 2 million, you're wrong. I think it's going to be mad. I mean, I think the lead up to that fight, already there's no contract in place yet, and they're still at each other's throats, you know? I think it's going to be electricity, and I think it'll be a lot of entertainment. And the difference with us is we're under no delusion. We're in a crossover boxing space. Jake cannot fight Canelo without getting battered. He can't. It's a fact. Anyone who watches boxing knows that. Respect to what he's done, you know, but KSI wants to be the champ in this space. And Jake Paul is the final piece of that puzzle for him.
And one more thing, Wembley Stadium, just what can you inform us on now? Obviously, with a successful 2 fights on the weekend, is that the only venue this fight could take place?
Look, that's going to be a headache of a contract to put together with Jake Paul's team. Their interest is they want his viewers to watch at a time that suits them for America. Wembley Stadium's, the fight's not happening at 3 or 4 a.m. So, you know, there's a lot to work out, but we'll see how this thing plays out.
And how likely would it be that it genuinely is winner takes all?
We're going to make... Listen, if there's any funny business or going back on people's words, JJ and I have spoken about it. We're going to put the contract out in public. Everyone will see who's playing games and who's not, if it comes to that. But yes, it's winner takes all. The purses will be in the kitty, and someone's going to walk away with a lot of money. And it won't be Jake Paul.
That was great. Really good to speak to you. Thanks you for doing this for Seconds Out. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.